Welcome, friend. I'm James, your host, and today, we're diving into another captivating episode. Grab a drink, get comfortable, and get ready for a powerful story that's sure to resonate. If something hits home, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive in. Tomorrow, I'm going to ruin his life. Los Angeles is a city where people come to make their dreams come true. The glittering skyline, the endless palm trees, and the golden beaches make it seem like anything is possible. But tomorrow, in a cozy little house tucked away in the Hollywood Hills, it's going to be the place where a dream turns into a nightmare. For the past 3 years, I've invested my heart and soul into a man I believed was my forever. I wasn't just his girlfriend, I was his biggest supporter, his financial backbone, and his emotional safety net. I uprooted my life for him, leaving behind my hometown, my friends, and my family. I quit a stable job that I loved, convinced that we were building something greater together. I took on a higher-paying, more stressful position just so I could support us both when he decided he needed to focus on school. I was more than just a partner, I was a silent, unseen force keeping our lives together, even when I felt like I was falling apart. But I did it willingly because when you're in love, you do things you wouldn't otherwise, and I did love him. I thought I was sacrificing for a future we were building together. But that was all before I discovered his secret life, a life that existed outside the home we shared, beyond the loving texts and date nights, beyond the lies he told me to keep me complacent. It's a strange kind of agony to realize the person you thought was your partner in life is nothing more than a stranger wearing the mask of someone you used to know. I found out about his betrayals in the most mundane way possible, stumbling across a series of messages when he left his laptop open on the dining table one night. Messages that would shatter my entire world. He wasn't just dabbling in infidelity, he was practically swimming in it. 2 different women. One of them, a doe-eyed TA from his university, who I now know had been giving him much more than academic guidance. And the other? His best friend's girlfriend. The discovery hit me like a head-on collision, leaving me breathless and dizzy. The depth of his deceit was almost theatrical in its arrogance, like he was daring me to find out. It wasn't just betrayal, it was mockery, a slap in the face after everything I had done for him, after every dream I put on hold for his sake. The moment I saw those messages, I felt my world teetering on the edge of collapse. But rather than letting the shock consume me, I felt a fire ignite within, a fire of fury and indignation. My heart raced, not with sadness but with an overwhelming determination that coursed through my veins like electricity. This wasn't just heartbreak, it was a call to arms. I was done being the overlooked partner, the one who sacrificed everything while he played the victim. As I stood there, staring at the screen with trembling hands, I made a decision that would change everything. I wasn't going to fade away quietly, I was going to make sure that when I left, I would leave him with nothing but the ashes of the life we shared. Over the past month, I've meticulously planned my revenge down to the smallest detail, crafting a masterpiece of payback that would leave him reeling. I call it the day his world burns, and tomorrow, his little fantasy of a perfect life will come crashing down. He's been too blinded by his own self-importance to notice my preparations, the packed suitcases hidden in the back of my car, the gradual emptying of our joint bank account, the paperwork already filed to terminate our lease. He still thinks I'm the naive girlfriend who's oblivious to his indiscretions, too busy holding up the weight of our relationship to see the cracks forming right beneath my feet. He thinks the party we're hosting tomorrow is for us to announce our engagement to his family. It's almost poetic how completely he's fallen for the trap I've set. I told him it would be a magical evening, a night we would remember for the rest of our lives. And he's so caught up in the lie that he hasn't noticed the clues right in front of him. I've been planning this for weeks, inviting his entire family and a few close friends under the guise of a celebration. I played the role of the doting girlfriend so well that not a single soul suspected a thing. The house is adorned with fairy lights that twinkle like stars against the night sky, and a lavish spread of catered food is laid out as if we're preparing for a grand wedding feast. Everything is in place. The champagne is chilling in ice buckets. A carefully curated playlist is set to play in the background, and I've even rehearsed my happy speech a dozen times in front of the mirror. I can picture the smiles on their faces, the clinking of glasses as they toast to our future, and it makes my heart race with anticipation. But that's just a veneer hiding what's really about to unfold. I've made sure to invite his best friend and the girlfriend too, of course, because it's only right that everyone gets to see the show, don't you think? I want to see the shock in his eyes when he realizes that everything he thought was secure is about to crumble before him. The guest list is set. His family is flying in from out of town for what they think is going to be a joyful announcement, and I've been nothing but smiles and hospitality. I made sure to personally invite every one of them, making it sound like the surprise of a lifetime was in store. We're finally going to take that next step, I'd said to them, laying it on thick with the charm, even though it tasted bitter on my tongue. My own family won't be attending. I didn't want to drag them into the mess. They have always believed in me, respected me, and cherished the sacrifices I made for this relationship, even when they thought I was giving too much. I can't let them see the spectacle I'm about to create. I need them to remember me as strong, as someone who walked away from a toxic relationship with her head held high, not as the orchestrator of a public reckoning. But for his family, they deserve to see the truth of who their precious son really is. I can almost hear the sounds of laughter and chatter filling the room, the aroma of delicious food wafting through the air. It's going to be a scene straight out of a movie. 1 minute, they're raising glasses in celebration, and the next, I'll be dropping the bombshell that shatters their happy little illusion. I want them to see just how low he stooped, and I want him to feel the weight of their disappointment. When the party is in full swing, the drinks are flowing, and everyone is happily mingling, I'll make my move. In the living room, I have a projector already set up and disguised as part of the engagement surprise. It's going to be a surprise, all right, just not the kind anyone is expecting. The first slide will appear, innocent enough at first, just a picture of the two of us looking happy and in love, grinning widely under the California sun. But then, the tone will shift dramatically. The next slide will be a screenshot, an explicit message exchange between him and his university TA, complete with the kind of extra credit she was offering him in private. I'll scroll through them slowly, letting the horror sink in for everyone. The expressions on their faces will shift from joy to confusion, then to shock, and finally to disgust as they process the truth. But the piece de resistance will come when I reveal the messages he sent to his best friend's girlfriend. The desperation in his words, the vulgar requests, the sleazy rendezvous plans, I'll make sure everyone sees it all. His best friend will be right there in the crowd, staring at the proof of his betrayal, and I want him to witness the moment his world crumbles. I can already imagine the tension thickening in the air as the whispers ripple through the room, a collective gasp echoing off the walls. I want him to feel the weight of every horrified glance, every dropped jaw, as the gravity of his actions sinks in. The stunned silence that will fall over the room will be deafening, shattered only by the sound of my voice as I address the crowd with cool composure. And just when everyone thinks they've seen it all, I'll walk up to him, calm and composed, and hand him the notice to vacate. I already canceled our lease. Yes, we need to be out by the end of the month, but I'll be gone by morning. The apartment he thought was our love nest is now just a temporary storage unit for his shattered ego. I'll have a box of his things ready, full of mementos and clothes I found lying around the place. All the things he didn't think to take with him on his little adventures. I want him to walk out of here clutching that box, surrounded by whispers and stares. As I walk away, I hope he feels the weight of the consequences crashing down on him with every step. The room will be charged with energy, the shock palpable as he stands there, paralyzed, his mind racing to comprehend the magnitude of what's happening. I can already picture the disbelief on his face morphing into anger as the reality sinks in. There's something almost poetic about the scene, the gleaming lights of the city twinkling outside, contrasting sharply with the darkness brewing in the room. The energy will be palpable, confusion, anger, betrayal, emotions swirling like a tempest. And I'll relish every moment as I strut out the door, leaving behind the wreckage of what he thought was his perfect life. I can almost hear the clinking of glasses coming to a halt, the hushed whispers that will follow me as I make my exit. I want him to feel small, insignificant, exposed before everyone he cared about. The thrill of that moment, the culmination of my months of planning, will be more exhilarating than any romance he could ever conjure up with his string of lies. But I'm not done yet. The last nail in his coffin will be the university report. I filed it anonymously, providing enough detailed evidence to make sure they take it seriously. It's not every day that a professor's assistant is found fraternizing with a student in such a creative manner. The thought of him standing before an ethics board, trying to explain himself while his peers look on with disdain, fills me with a sense of satisfaction. It may take them weeks, even months, to reach a conclusion, but I know they'll be digging deep. He'll be living with the fear of expulsion looming over him, and that's a reality I can't wait to see him face. I can already imagine him sweating bullets as he tries to piece together a defense, all while knowing the truth is as clear as day. What will he tell his parents? How will he explain it to his friends? The mere possibility of being expelled, of having that dark cloud looming over his head, it's a delicious thought, one that adds a layer of satisfaction to the unfolding drama. The student loans, which he foolishly took on to find himself, will suddenly feel like a millstone around his neck, dragging him down as he tries to rebuild his life from the rubble. And just to add more spice to the concoction, I made sure to inform some of his closest friends about what was happening. I couldn't just let this be a one-sided affair. I needed them to see him for who he truly was. I shared the damning screenshots with them, letting them decide for themselves how they wanted to handle the situation. The reactions were swift and unforgiving. His best friend was especially hurt and angry, the kind of anger that bubbles just below the surface, ready to explode. It's a sweet justice to know that his support system is crumbling alongside him. They don't want to associate with someone who would betray a friend for a fleeting moment of pleasure. I imagine the phone calls and text messages flying back and forth among his friends, all discussing how they can no longer stand by him. The sheer isolation he'll feel when he realizes he's lost not just me, but everyone who cared for him, will be poetic. He'll be left with nothing but the echoes of his mistakes and the guilt that will undoubtedly haunt him. As the sun sets over Los Angeles tomorrow evening, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, I'll be ready to step into my new life, one where he doesn't exist. The anticipation swells within me, a cocktail of adrenaline and relief. I've secured a job out of state, a place where no one knows his name, where no one will ever hear about the life I had with him. I can envision the new beginnings that await me, the sense of freedom that comes with shedding the weight of this toxic relationship. I'll be in a new city, breathing in fresh air and filling my life with opportunities instead of heartbreak. Every moment of this elaborate plan will lead me closer to a future that's truly mine. As for him, well, he'll be left in the ruins of the life he thought he could have while betraying me, standing among the wreckage of his own making. I hope he remembers this day for the rest of his life, every broken piece he tries to pick up reminding him of what he lost and what a fool he was to ever think he could play me. I'll walk away without looking back, knowing that I've taken my power back, that I've turned the tables, and that I am the one in control of my destiny. Tomorrow will be the day he learns the hard way that betrayal has consequences, and I'll be the one to make sure he never forgets it. I can already feel the excitement bubbling up inside me, a surge of empowerment that tells me I've made the right choice. Tomorrow, I'm going to ruin his life. I'll make sure he remembers that I'm the one who set it all on fire, and I'll do it with a smile, knowing that I'm finally free. As I step into my new chapter, I'll carry with me the strength I've gained, the lessons I've learned, and the realization that I am stronger than I ever thought possible. Los Angeles will feel a whole lot bigger and a whole lot lonelier for him when I'm done. The city may be filled with dreams, but it will also be where his dreams turn to dust, scattered by the winds of betrayal, and I'll be the one watching it all unfold, reveling in the freedom that comes with breaking free.